Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another of our Meet the Caps video series. Tonight we are really pleased to have Jake Stillwell join us. And Jake, you've had a really interesting year, I know that. So we're going to talk a little bit about the year you've had. And let's just do a little bit of background first here to get our listeners and viewers a little bit of background on your hockey that you've played in the past. So last year you played Bantam AA.
Yes.
So which team did you play on?
I played on the Bantam AA Canucks.
The Canucks. And how did the year go?
It went pretty good.
Pretty good year?
Actually, the past 2 years, we haven't had piles and piles of talent on our team.
Yeah.
But we all kind of worked together at the end, and we usually had a pretty successful finish.
So the team came together very well.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so this year you made the jump to Bantam AAA.
Yep.
How would you compare the two leagues, AA versus AAA?
It's really just a matter of one being faster, and in AAA you just have to make the plays a little bit quicker and think quicker. That's pretty much the main difference.
Okay, yeah, just a little bit of a faster game.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, Jake, you've one of the interesting parts of the year is that you started off as a D man,
Yeah.
then you played forward, now you're playing D again, and you've been back and forth, back and forth. So let's talk about that a little bit. How would you compare the two positions?
Like how I like them?
Yeah, how do you like them?
I really don't mind playing either. I prefer D because I'm more trained in it. I've had more time put in.
A little bit more experience on D, yeah, okay.
But I don't really mind forward either.
Okay.
Just whatever's for the best for the team. I
Sure.
do like D though.
Yeah, well, you've done a great job on both of them. So I mean, and it's great to have that versatility, right? Okay, so could you maybe identify or think about what are kind of keys for success of being a defenseman in the Bantam AAA League?
Defense, it's not so much about being one thing, but it's making plays and it's thinking it through and being strategic. Because you're starting the playoff. I know we talk a whole lot about the breakout pass.
Yes.
And how that's the most important pass. The defensemen are usually in charge of that.
Yeah.
They have to get it out of the zone so the forwards can go up.
Okay.
So it's more of a strategic part. And for forward, you just kind of have to be able to read all those things.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Very good points. Okay. So between playing defense and forward, what's been the biggest surprise for you in playing in the AAA League in those two positions? Hurting your hand.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So for those of our viewers that maybe don't know a little bit of the history, but Jake broke his hand in a game I guess we were up north playing the PA team, and I think you jammed your hand in the boards on a check, if I remember correctly.
I think it was a stick.
A stick.
Slash.
Okay. And so tell us about your hand. What actually happened to it?
Well, it broke right here instead of right here, so it broke in two places, one at the base of the thumb and one more in the hand.
Okay.
And I really didn't know it was broken. One shift I came off and I was like, oh, that hurts, and the next shift I came off and I couldn't move it, so we really don't know what happened. We got Leslie to come over and she put some ice on it, and then it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then we went to the hospital and it was broken.
And so you went to the hospital back in Fredericton?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you went to the hospital and they x-rayed it, obviously, and they said it's got a couple of breaks in it. So what happened next?
Well, what they did first, they had to check over the x-rays to see if they could just freeze it and push it back into place, but they couldn't, so I ended up having to have surgery. And the surgery wasn't all too bad, but I had to go about 24 hours the first day without food, waiting for a surgery because they have booked surgeries that they have to do first. And then the next day I had to go for another day without food, but I at least got to eat breakfast. And then I had my surgery and then I got to go home, but the surgery wasn't all too bad. It was mainly sitting hungry and not being able to drink water or eat or do anything.
Okay, so very interesting experience. Now, how long were you out of action? It was about a month, wasn't it?
6 weeks.
It was 6 weeks? Okay. And so I know you've been back with us for a little while now, and so how's the hand feeling? I'm sure there's a transition period where you get back into playing with it. How's it feeling now?
It's usually pretty good. We we started wrapping it like with Pro Wrap and medical tape, and like in addition to putting the splint on.
Okay.
So that gives it a little bit more support, and it worked better the last few games on the weekend. The first game was didn't really work out so well, and it was hurting a lot, but it still kind of twinges sometimes, but it's better now.
Now you have pins in there, so will the pins be permanent?
Yeah.
So they're always going to be in there. Well,
Yes.
That's interesting. Well, you've done a great job going through the rehab and getting ready and back in play, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's happened over the year, generally speaking, and a little bit about some other things that you're interested in. Okay, so first of all, I know you're a very good hockey player, but I'm sure you're into other sports as well. So what other sports interest you?
When I was little, I used to play basketball too, but, well, hockey's a year-round sport now,
Okay.
so I pretty much go year-round with hockey. I play a little bit of golf in the summer,
Okay.
but it's mainly hockey and fitness at Eric Bissonette's boot camp.
I was going to ask you.
love that.
I was going to ask you about the fitness. Now, Jake, you're well known to be a very, very fit individual. So, how do you keep in such good shape?
I have gone to Eric's for a long time, and even before Eric's, I used to go to Kingswood Open Ice with Jamie McKinley.
Yep.
But for like the past 2 or 3 years, it's been Eric and Frank, and I've really worked with them year-round, on ice and off, and yeah.
Well, it's really paid off because you're obviously in great shape, and you can see it in the speed you have on the ice and everything. So it's well worth the effort that you're putting into it. Okay. So let's change tack a little bit here and talk about. You've played hockey for a long time. You've obviously traveled a lot for hockey. Name maybe some of the rinks that you really like to play in, or the places you perhaps visited that you like to play hockey.
Well, my 3 favorite rinks would probably all be in the Fredericton area.
Okay.
But they're probably not the ones you'd think. I really like Bert's Corner.
Okay.
And I really like York Arena. And I like the Narcissus ring before
Okay.
they tore it down.
Yeah.
And one thing about all those rinks is it's good ice, and it was all really cold air, and cold air is better for breathing.
Okay.
And that's where I played my first few years of hockey, so it's kind of
Right.
nostalgic.
Very, very good. Well, a few people have mentioned that they like playing York Arena, and Bert's Corner, that's the first person I've heard mention Bert's Corner, although I like the Bert's Corner rink, and it has its nostalgia for sure. And I really, I'm interested in the point you said about the cold air, because that's great for breathing, and of course hockey, which is a very intense and high aerobic sport, that's a big factor for sure. Now, do you have a favorite hockey memory so far in your career?
Like, normally I might say, oh, when I won this tournament or when I got this medal, but really my favorite hockey memory would probably be this year when I made this team, because I've tried since first year Pee Wee for a AAA team, and I've done things all year. I've worked at power skatings with Dax McLean and Stacey Smallman. I've done Eric Bissonette's programs. I've done just everything. I've always worked hard, and this is the first year I've made it, so it's just kind of all the hard work paying off. So
That's
I really
awesome.
like that.
That's really good, Jake. That's wonderful to hear, and congratulations on obviously making the team this year, and it's been a great year for everyone. So that's a really nice story to hear. Okay, what's a typical pre-game routine for you?
Well, usually I eat like healthy food, don't put garbage into your body. But on the way to a rink, I usually listen to music.
Okay. And any particular thing you like to eat pre-game?
Usually probably a sub or a pita.
Okay. So it's not a game day, and you can eat anything you want. What are you going to eat? What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, or like my favorite junk food?
Either one. Maybe your favorite junk food.
I do really like pita pit. We get that a lot in the summer, and that's our little...
Well, it's a popular spot in Fredericton. So the pita pit, very good. Okay, that's good. Now, what do you like to do in your spare time?
I really like to listen to music, and like look for new songs to listen to and stuff. And like to read and hang out with friends. And
Nice. Now, Jake, I know you're a very good student in school. So what's your favorite school subject?
I don't really have a favorite or a least favorite school subject, so there's not really one that I'm like, oh, I have to go there.
So you don't not look forward to anything in particular. You like all of it.
Yeah.
That's perfect for a student, right? That means you have lots of options and you like doing everything. And in the future, you'll probably be able to do whatever you want in that sense. That's very good. Okay. Now we're heading into the kind of the end of our season now. We've got maybe another 6 or 7 games left, and then we get into our provincial playdowns. So back on the subject of hockey, which hockey teams do you like? What's kind of your favorite NHL team, for example?
I like Detroit.
Detroit Red Wings. Okay. Any particular favorite player on that team?
Probably Datsu, because well, he's like super good, but he would put his team before himself. Like, he'd probably rather get an assist over a goal. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Very classy player, definitely, and one of the best in the league, no question about it. So who do you think right now, if you look at the standings in the National Hockey League, who do you think is most likely to make it to the Stanley Cup? Maybe what teams would you expect to find in the Stanley Cup final?
I actually checked that. I saw that on SportsCenter the other day, and Detroit's doing pretty well right now. Yeah,
Detroit's likely might be one of them, eh?
Yeah.
All right. What are your sports goals or hockey goals for the next couple of years? What do you see yourself doing with hockey in the future?
I'd like to play either high school for Leo Hayes or Midget AAA.
Okay.
And maybe like maybe I could get like a scholarship or something.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's probably it.
Awesome. All right.
I like college hockey. Would probably be the highest thing I'd go for.
Okay. Now, last question for you. What do you think the keys for success for the Caps will be in the remainder of the season?
Well, one skill that everyone, including me on the team, has really got to work on is passing, and that's not just like knowing when to make a pass, but like I can say for myself that even in the practice today, I made a few passes that weren't so great, and pretty much everyone else did. So
passing is kind of the key to success for the team game.
Yeah. So I think we need to kind of brush up on the actual passing and then kind of put it together, because I know the game that I broke my hand, it was really, really noticeable with, I can't remember who else was on the line. It might have been Patrick, Sam, and Daniel. Yeah. But it was just like tic-tac-toe, and I think Danny got the assist on Sam's 3 goals or something.
Right.
And it was just the whole time.
Well, no question about it. The teams that play together as a team always do the best. Well, Jake, it's been a really interesting interview tonight. I'm really pleased that we were able to do this. And I'd just like to say best of luck the rest of the season, and look forward to watching your play for the next month or so as we get to the end of the season.
Thanks.
You're welcome.